we're here to talk about maximizing your potential and understanding and applying coaching, mentoring, and sponsorship. This is so vital to your career growth. I talk about this often, and I absolutely love this topic. So anytime you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll address it. There will be time at the end to ask some questions too. I have a quick agenda here. I'm going to give you an introduction about myself. We're going to talk about the basics. I'm going to go over a few definitions and we'll talk about the benefits. Also, how to find and engage those people. That's an important aspect. And then how do we maximize that? And any final tips and takeaways that we might have at the very end before we hit questions. So if we look at this is something that I created a while back just to introduce myself to different people. My name is Amy Forsee. I am an enterprise architect for the state of Missouri. I was born and raised in Missouri. I have 5 kids, 11 grandkids. I have degrees in electronic engineering, computer science, and information security. I also have 3 cloud certifications. I've got experience in other clouds, but I have 3 certifications. And I'm Open Group Master Certified Architect. I put my LinkedIn and Credly badges there if you want to go scope me out. Some of my employment highlights, right out of school, I started out as a maintenance mechanic. So I worked on boilers, chillers, pumps, HVAC, those types of things. I also was an associate director of IT enterprise architecture at IBM and Kyndryl later after they spun off. Like I said, currently I'm an enterprise architect for the state of Missouri. I have 3 inventions. 1 is pending a patent. And I have over 25 years of IT experience. And then I threw in this little interesting fact here. I find 4-leaf clovers everywhere I go. So you see pictures of my wonderful family there. I've only got one picture of all 5 of my kids, and it's that one there at the top. One of them was married, so you actually see 6 individuals in that picture, but all 5 of my kids are actually in that one picture. So enough about me. Let's talk about the basics here. And this is just how I remember what each one of these things are. A coach, at their core, a coach talks to you, a mentor talks with you, and a sponsor talks about you. Now, the lines between these 3 different special people, they blur, they often overlap. So keep that in mind as we talk about each one individually. The coach is often a manager or supervisor, or there are training coaches. It's meant to be a short-term formal session, and it targets skills and improvement. They listen and ask powerful questions to help people think for themselves, as well as they do regular check-ins, goal-setting activities. There is less advice in this relationship and more impartial, non-judgmental feedback. After a coaching session, a person should be able to clearly identify the gaps and obstacles that they need to overcome and create a clear path forward to achieving your goals. Mentorship is a little different. These relationships are generally long-term and can be informal. They can be formal too. I prefer mine to be informal. Your mentor should be a more experienced person. A more experienced does not mean older. Older is a misconception in mentorship. I have had excellent mentors that were younger than me. It's all about the topic and if they know more about that topic than you do. So keep that in mind, because it really is a misconception that your mentor needs to be older. They don't necessarily need to be older. The purpose of a mentor is to guide you through that professional and career growth. It provides direct feedback, advice on practical solutions to day-to-day challenges by sharing lived experiences. Remember, your mentor has been there and done that, and they can offer great advice on how to navigate those challenges. They can provide advice on how to navigate organizational culture. And this type of mentorship is usually done during new hire. When you first join an organization, they set you up with a mentor to help you get through that organizational culture. There are other types of mentors, career growth, professional growth. There's just a whole broader professional section there that you can get mentorship on. Mentors can help you make broader connections as well and gain more experience and knowledge. So they're very important. Sponsors can be a little harder to get. These people are your advocate, and the relationship is generally long-term. They should be senior leadership with solid connections. They often champion you for promotions and key projects. They help you grow in your career. Sponsors offer strategic advice and resources to achieve your career goals. They increase your visibility within the organization and with your senior leadership so that you can get those promotions and get those recommended projects that you really want to work on. Now, we know about the different types. So how do we find and engage them? You must first know what your needs are. So we need to figure out, what do you need? Do you need specific skills? What are the areas you want to address? Those are going to be important when you start having these conversations with your coach, your mentor, or your sponsor. You want to seek recommendations by asking colleagues, HR, or professional networks like here. Many companies now have mentoring programs. Once you have somebody picked out, you politely ask, say, hey, do you want a mentor? Can you coach me through this one thing? Can you help me learn how to do X, Y, and Z? There is a lot there. You want to build that relationship by connecting formally first. And I just hit the button, sorry. And you want to set those expectations by clarifying your goals, because the more people know about each other, the better that connection's going to be, and the more both of you are going to get out of that engagement. Make sure you establish those boundaries and communication preferences. Do you like monthly conference calls? Would you like a weekly call? Do you do it by phone or WebEx, or are we going to use Zoom? Or is email your preferred communication? All of these things you should decide with your counterpart to make sure that things move smoother and everyone knows what to be expected, as well as the time that is expected as well, because you want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Most of these people are volunteering their time to do this, so we want to be super respectful of their time and expertise. I know I saw a couple of questions come in. How do you decide the number of coaching and mentoring sessions needed? That's going to be between you and your mentor or your coach. And I do agree, the sponsor is the person who speaks for you when you're not invited to the table. That is sometimes true too. What is the criteria to choose a coach, mentor, or sponsor and how to gauge who's the right professional for us. That's coming, I think. So to maximize these relationships, you want to have active participation by being proactive in seeking advice. When I mentor, I like my mentees to set that pace by setting up the meetings with me. This is the way they're coming to me with what they need, when they need it, and nobody's time's wasted. So if I set up the meetings, then I'm coming to you, and a lot of times you're not ready for me, or both our jobs got in the way and we're not ready. So for me, it's better if the mentee takes charge and comes to me when they need me. Doesn't always have to be that way. It kind of depends on the relationship. Be open to criticism. Accepting constructive criticism is how we grow. Everything you hear will not be roses and rainbows, but it will be worth your time. Always show appreciation for their time. Most people are doing this on their own time because they see something in you. They want you to do better. They want you to get promoted. They want that for you. They're there for you. Last but not least, please, please, please become a coach, mentor, or sponsor for someone else. I cannot stress this enough. We want to continue to give this help, especially to other women in our field. There are very few people out there in the tech world, very few women. Most of my coaches and mentors have all been men, but that was because there weren't women out there. If there were, I would have loved to have a female mentor in places for those challenges. You know, there are just challenges out there that they're going to understand more than a male might. Not that they don't, because my mentors, they were all very excellent people. I wanted to throw in some personal experiences in here and not just information. I love my career and where I am in my career, but I would not be here without my coaches, mentors, and sponsors. These people are the reason where I am where I am. I can't thank them enough. We often think, so if I think about a coach in my life, they've all been managers. This does not have to be true for you, but all my coaches have all been managers. The one that sticks out in my mind is the one, he would challenge me every day. He would say, you know, I'd go to him with a problem and he'd be like, yes, but have you thought of this? And he did it so well that I would stop and think about it. I would be like, oh yeah, maybe I should think about that. He challenged my thoughts every day and he encouraged me to think outside the box on more than one occasion. He was an excellent boss. He was an excellent coach, and he would ask those pointed questions to make you think. He made you stop and think, and that always helps you learn the approach, learn how to do things. I can't appreciate him more than anybody. I have many mentors. I highly recommend and encourage you to have more than one mentor. My mentors have all been the secret to my success. Each and every mentor has provided excellent advice and has challenged me in ways that would have never happened without them in my life. I appreciate them from the bottom of my heart. I cannot speak enough about my mentors and praise them enough. I wish I could do more for them because I really would not be where I am today without them. At the beginning, you know, I told you I'm an enterprise architect. Enterprise architects have that holistic view of organizations, you know, that IT architecture and everything that encompasses IT for that organization. We make sure future projects, plans, upgrades, anything IT related meets business needs and strategic plans. We help plan out those strategic plans. What's coming next? What, you know, make sure those things don't run into each other, and all of that. And when you think about it, all the technologies that are wrapped up into an IT organization's, all that does that, there is a lot of technologies there, from networking to servers to cloud and now AI. So there's no way any one individual can know everything there is to know. And I have mentors to help me with those different technologies. They help fill that gap in my knowledge, and they help learn. They have given me advice on tough situations. And I've even had a few excellent ones that's helped me through the certification processes. So I cannot harp enough on how great mentors and coaches and sponsors are. My sponsors, honestly, have all started out as a mentor or coach. I told you there's some overlap between all of these. My best sponsors have started out as coaches and mentors. They would see something in me and they would just bring me to the table, like the one person mentioned. They have got me helped me get those promotions, and they would give me direction on what skills I would need to add. They would, talk about me to upper management so they would know who I was. A lot of times in IT, we're in the background and people just don't know what we do until it breaks. Even in coding, you code, everybody uses your app. They don't know how much work you put into it to actually get it out there. So it helps to have those sponsors speaking your praises to everybody, and it helps you get those promotions. And they are just some excellent, excellent resources. Because of these excellent experiences I've had, I coach, mentor, and sponsor others. I take time to lift people up. I benefit from this as well. I can't harp on this enough. I think I've learned just as much from my mentees as they have taught, as I have taught them. So it is very two-sided. It's not a one-sided conversation. It's pretty awesome. And I've learned so much from my mentees. Final tips and takeaways. At their core, a coach talks to you, a mentor talks with you, and a sponsor talks about you. This is just a good way to remember how each one can help you. They do blur and they do cross paths. So at times, my mentors have become a coach. And as you heard in my examples, my mentors and coaches have become sponsors. So these three things, even though they're individually great, they can also cross over each other. Understand how these resources can help you and help you utilize them in the best ways. You want to stay curious. Always ask questions. When you meet someone new, ask them if they are willing to mentor or sponsor. And don't be offended if they say no. Remember, many of these people, they do this outside of their work, outside of their family lives, and they do it because they believe in you. They see something in you that needs to be promoted, and they want to help you. So just remember, a no may be just because they already have 4 or 5 mentees, or they're sponsoring somebody, or they have a lot going on in their family life right now. It's not something that says anything about you. It's just they may be busy. Once you have that resource identified, be prepared for those meetings. Know what you want to get out of them. Have a list for them. build that relationship with your mentor, your coach, or your sponsor. Uh, get to know them. Let them know what you want to get out of this process. Set professional goals uh, so that you each know what we're going to be doing. What are we working towards? Um, and last but not least, I can't say this enough because there's not enough women uh, coaches, mentors, and sponsors out there. Um, please become a coach, mentor, or sponsor. Even if you are fresh out of college, you can offer advice to others. You will not regret the experience. And last but not least, go out and be awesome. Share your experiences so others can also go out and be awesome. It's extremely important. If they hear your story, they will feel inspired and they will also go out and become inspirational. So thank you for listening to my talk. I'm going to go read through some questions. If you have any, please put them in the list. I'm going to go look at them here. I don't know where I left off. There's quite a few. Let's see here. Universities are influenced by bigger contexts, our country. Um, some see universities as a get a credential. There are a lot of mentors and sponsors out there, and even coaches. I think teachers could be coaches too. Um, for me, I've had mentors and sponsors come from my universities. So those relationships can also help you out. You just have to ask. Um, do I need to go over how to find them a little more? I know, Manic, you've got that question there. How do we find them? Did I answer that question for you? Mentors and you know, coaches, they're out there. You just have to ask. You really um, LinkedIn is another good place to find them. You just reach out. The worst they could say is no, and you're really no better off than you were when you started asking. So I think that's how I've gotten all of mine. I just ask them. Um, I meet them at conferences, in networking events. Uh, coaches have been managers. Um, then I've had sponsors that were, like I said, my sponsors all started out as a coach or a mentor. So it all kind of blurs together, but definitely just reach out and ask. Key qualities. That's a good question, Fiona. Key qualities are, what are their expertise? What are you looking to get out of the relationship? Because I have a lot of mentors, and each one I need something different from. So their personalities are different, their skill sets are different. I would say this is one of those things that depends on what you're looking to get out of the relationship. You need to know their background. You can ask them those questions. Um, are they approachable? Are they willing to spend the time with you? Those are things that are important. Um, let's see what else. A coach talks to you. It feels like the relationship is not equals. A coach, a coach is basically, they call it a coach because of the sporting. Um, they're coaching you how to get there. So that's why when you say talks to you, they're directing you. They're not giving you that. They're not really giving you that option. Really, they're saying this is how you do it. They'll give you step by step instructions. A mentor is going to be more along the lines, a mentor and a sponsor, even. They're going to challenge you a little more, and they're going to talk to you about their past experiences and how they've overcome certain challenges. Um, a coach is going to be more of education, like a teacher or a boss would. They're going to be more invested in that way. Does that make sense? Oh, that makes sense.
Thank you so much, Amy, for your insightful session.